At that point, his parents were feeling frustrated because the mill had burned down, and his father was thinking, what should he do as a profession? Oh, mir gehen kein Amerika. So they were probably early immigrants because they came to America. The date would be somewhere, let me just think. I think it was 1916 because 2 years later he was drafted, so it had to be that. I'm going with. And mostly they grew up in upstate New York. So because there were only Jewish farmers on the mountain, who's learned English? Everybody spoke Yiddish to each other, or even the people who were not Jewish, there were people from some of the Soviet Union or related countries who had also settled there, and they spoke Russian. Oh, my father was all set because that's his two languages. So that's how he grew up with that. I think he probably learned whatever English he had gotten from the army. He makes references to Sergeant John and training him, kind of thing. But it was a wonderful experience. They lived in an 1849 farmhouse. It was small. It had 4 rooms. One room was where the parents slept, and that's where they ate, and that's where the fire cooking thing was. There was no running water. The well was next to the house. Even when I was a kid, there was no running water in the house. That's the way Zeta lived. He was a poyer, and he looked like he was from Russia. He transferred locations, but same country, only here in America. He was not an American ever. My grandfather started a rooming house to make some extra money, and even the rooming house was constructed for those days because there was no kitchens with any of the rooms. You went to another building. Everybody had a little 2-burner stove and a communal dining room, and that's the way it was. And nobody questioned it. My Bubby Chasha was one of these very bossy ladies. She also dressed very traditionally. They were very Orthodox. And she had a fachela always. Her head was always covered, a long skirt. I have a picture of them. You can see that. But Chasha was not kind of loved by people around her because she was pretty cross. I think part of her problem was she was pretty lonely. I mean, what do you do there? If you're not the farmer, what's the wife going to do? I mean, maybe she helped with the chickens or whatever. But even when I was little, that place was pretty isolated. And we kids used to go there to see everybody, and we sometimes put up plays for them. They didn't know what we were being so terrific to them. We were going to give them entertainment, and they never stopped us. We said, "Oh, we have a play today," and we would go up on this little platform in the communal dining room, and we would sing and carry on. But those places were very communal. Maybe it was the communistic period, and people had, it was almost felt like we were well, if you were in Russia, you would be in a commune. If you were in Israel, you would have this other experience of these kibbutzim who all were, joining together and sharing everything. And essentially, that's kind of what it was. But it gave my Baba used to go around screaming at everybody. Every time the sheikhet came, she was, kind of policing it, making sure he was going to do a proper kosher job. And we used to watch heck, goodbye, chicken. And everybody plucking and the feathers. It was an interesting world. So maybe that's how Catskills and the Shawangans got started. These people came and then they didn't have money, so they had summer people coming.